Rituals of Remembrance, 9/11/2021 to 9/11/2025, and the Ethics of Memory. Anchor, Austin E. Delacruz, Jr. Collaborators, Carmencita Ursua Delacruz, CP Ricepaddies. Date, September 11th, 2025. Remember, the September 11th, 2021 casualties, the children and humans beneath the asphalt and concrete pavements, the brazen assassination of Charlie Kirk, and Netanyahu's genocide, memory, law, and the end of desecration and erasure. Ready? On air. Now. Today, we, the people of America and the global humanity, will never forget that we remember. We document, archive, timestamp, tattoo in our bones, the good, the bad, the ugly. From our Mnemosyne archive and ledger dispatch with love. Today, Carmencita Ursua Delacruz, CP Ricepaddies, and I, your anchor, Austin E. Delacruz, Jr., reflect today, September 11th, 2025, our memories of the Twin Towers attack and the Pentagon on September 11th, 2001 stay vivid. After 957,343,278 seconds, or 8,766 days, the memory is still fresh. Let us ritualize together. It was a Tuesday, a day and a series of events that will never be forgotten when the United States of America came under attack on its own soil. A total of 4 passenger jetliners crashed, 2 into the World Trade Center in New York, 1 into the Pentagon, and another one into the ground in Pennsylvania on September 11, 2001. The total death toll stood at 2,977 from all 4 plane crashes and tower collapses in the heart of New York City. The long war on terrorism followed, spearheaded by U.S. President George W. Bush. On this September 11th, we remember the lives we lost, and we look, unblinking, at a world where schools, playgrounds, and children are still in the crosshairs. When rubble is leveled and paved, memory itself is threatened. This is a call for evidence, for law, and for accountability that protects the living and honors the dead. Stay with us. September 11th, 2001, etched into our national marrow. We gather again in remembrance. The names, the families, the first responders, every story a universe interrupted, every loss a call to hold each other closer. Memory is how we refuse erasure. I remember that morning in Vallejo, driving my daughter to St. Catherine Catholic School, when the radio said 2 planes had struck the Twin Towers. It was my day off. I put on my uniform and reported to Travis. We packed critical care air transport teams, every zipper double-checked. I didn't fly that day, but service is not measured only in miles. It's measured in promises kept to the fallen and to the living. 9/11 Commission Report. Across today's battlefields, schools and playgrounds, the places we promise are safe are hit and hollowed. The law is clear. Civilians and civilian objects, including schools and cultural heritage, must be protected. Yet reports document strikes near classrooms, nurseries, and clinics, families fleeing past swing sets turned into splinters. Children are not collateral. They are the measure of our humanity. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNESCO Cultural Property Protection, Rome Statute. Let's get to work. Memorials at home and abroad, names engraved in stone, wreaths at cultural sites. Crossfade to bulldozers leveling rubble, dissolves to fresh asphalt. It's memory versus erasure. When rubble is leveled and poured over with concrete and asphalt, it risks more than rebuilding. It can sanitize the horror, seal away evidence, and turn sites of mourning into forgetfulness. Survivors speak of unmarked graves, personal effects lost, and cultural artifacts swept aside. Memory demands truthful preservation, not tidy erasure. The dead deserve dignity. The living deserves a record that can be examined in a court of law. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization promotes international collaboration in education, science, culture, and communication to foster peace and security. UNESCO, Cultural Property Protection, United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. Allegations of war crimes and crimes against humanity by any leader, any faction, any state belong in impartial investigations. The path is the same: documented evidence, prosecutorial independence, judicial review. We call on competent bodies, the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, and qualified domestic courts, to do their jobs without fear or favor. Accountability is not vengeance, It is the disciplined refusal to let suffering disappear beneath politics or pavement. Rome Statute, United Nations Human Rights Mechanisms. Gaza neighborhoods, Israeli communities under fire, hospitals under strain, cultural sites fenced for protection. We grieve every civilian harmed, Palestinian, Israeli, Arab, Jewish, and all others. The law does not pick sides, it draws lines to protect people. Leadership everywhere is answerable for the orders they give and the harm they permit. That is what never again requires in practice, protecting children where they learn and where they play, preserving memorials and graves, investigating every strike that shatters a family's ordinary day. Here at home, accountability means the same thing. Independent investigations, charges where warranted, and fair trials. Whether it's terrorism, political violence, or an attack on a public figure, impunity is not an option. Justice is, according to the 9/11 Commission report. Words matter. On a day like this, grief can push us toward dehumanization. We refuse that path. We can demand accountability without denying anyone's humanity. We can call for investigations without calling for revenge. That discipline protects the child in a classroom far away, and it protects our own souls here at home. Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Rome Statute, words. Yes, words, of we the people, begging action for a ceasefire to end Netanyahu's genocide. What comes after today? We teach the next generation what memory asks of us. Learn the facts, support the rule of law, and show up for each other. We fund trauma care for survivors and first responders. We support nonpartisan monitors, cultural heritage protection, and survivor-led memorials that keep evidence and dignity intact. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, UNESCO Cultural Property Protection. Anybody out there? In memoriam, we commit to every life sacred, to schools and playgrounds kept safe, to truth preserved, not paved over, law over rage, evidence over erasure, so that the dead are honored and the living are protected, everywhere. We recommend using the following hashtags when sharing with our followers. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag in memoriam. Hashtag protect civilians. Hashtag protect children. Hashtag rule of law. Hashtag accountability. Hashtag preserve memory. Hashtag stop erasure. Hashtag cultural heritage. Hashtag ICC law. Hashtag uncharter. Hashtag trauma-informed. Hashtag memory to action. References. 9/11 Commission. 2004. The 9/11 Commission Report, final report of the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, Government Printing Office, www.911commission.gov/report/911report.pdf. National September 11th Memorial and Museum. ND. About the Memorial and Museum. www.911memorial.org/. Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, July 17, 1998, 2187 UNTS, 90. www.icc-cpi.int/resource-library/documents/rs-ang.pdf. United Nations. 1948, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. www.un.org/in/about-us/universal-declaration-of-human-rights. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, ND. Protection of Civilians. www.unocha.org/in/themes/protection-civilians. UNESCO. 2017. Protection of Cultural Property, Military Manual. n.unesco.org/protecting-heritage. From the Mnemosine Archive and Ledger Mal and the Mnemosine Dispatch MD, Austin E. Delacruz Jr., with Carmen Sita, Ursula Delacruz, and C.P. Ricepaddies. Never forget, always remember, we are humans, we respect the living and the dead. Signing off. Till next time, take care of each other, our brothers, sisters, our humanity, and our posterity. Mabuhay tayong lahat.